Hello VC. So this video will serve two functions. First, this is an entry to Tuco's contest, Wax Extatic. This is a contest for his push to 200 subs, which he already has, by the way. He's a pretty recent channel that I've enjoyed following in the past couple of months, 3 months or so, yeah. He obviously is from a metal background, and which is basically the music I'm the least interested in general, except that that's also the kind of music I'm the most interested in discovering something that would talk to me. But he's much more than that. He also has a very keen interest in other types of music, stuff like this, exotica, and psych. He's just an open-minded guy, which is the best you could hope for in music. So for his push, he just he asked one question that, like, the first thing that instantly I had one thing that came to mind. A record which you wish you could listen to again for the first time. A record you've heard many times, or that you wish you could just reach back to that moment when it was the very first time you listened to it. For me, it was pretty obvious, and it's a story. It's not the one that's playing in the background, though it is related. So this is Monte Young, by the way. I discovered Monte Young because of this record, Spaceman 3, Dream Weapon. An evening of contemporary sitar music, recorded at Waterman's Art Centre, Hammersmith, London, 19th of August 1988. Sonic Boom plays Vox Starstream, Vox Conqueror, Jason, the Fender Telecaster, Will Carruthers, the bass vibrations, Steve Evans on the guitar, and Pat Fish joint rolling. So in this they printed a little essay by Monte Young about dream music. Dream music is the term he coined before it was called drone music. So in dream music there is a radical departure from European and even much Eastern music, in that the basis of musical relationship is entirely harmony. Not European harmony as textbooks have outlined it, but the intervallic proportions and acoustical consequences of the particular ratios which sound concomitantly in the overtone series when any simple fundamental is produced. Melody doesn't exist at all. There's a disappearance of melody, unless one is forced to hear the movement from group to group of various simultaneously sounded frequencies derived from overtones series as melodic because of previous musical conditioning. Even before the first man moves successfully from one frequency to another, melody if you like, a pattern from this movement, that is the relationship of the second frequency, was already predetermined harmonically by the overtone structure of the fundamental of the first sound. And in the life of the tortoise, the drone is the first sound. It lasts forever and cannot have begun, but is taken up again from time to time until it lasts forever as continuous sound in dream houses, where many musicians and students will live and execute a musical work. Dream houses will allow music which, after a year, 10 years, 100 years or more of constant sound, would not only be a real living organism with life and tradition all its own, but one with a capacity to propel itself by its own momentum. This music may play without stopping for thousands of years, just as the tortoise has continued for millions of years past, and perhaps only after the tortoise has again continued for as many million years as all of the tortoise in the past will it be able to sleep and dream of the next order of tortoises to come and of ancient tigers with black fur and omens, the 189-98 whirlwind in the ancestral lake region, only now that our species has had this much time to hear music that has lasted so long, because we have just come out of a long quiet period and we are just remembering how long sounds can last, and only now becoming civilized enough again that we want to hear sounds continuously. It will become easier as we move further into this period of sound. We will become more attached to sound. We will be able to have precisely the right sounds in every dream room, playroom and workroom, further reinforcing the integral proportions resonating through structures, early architectural music, dream houses, shrines, at which performers, students and listeners may visit even from long distances away, or at which they may spend long periods of dream time weaving the ageless quotients of the tortoise in the tapestry of eternal music. Pretty wild, huh? Well, when I read this and discovered this, that was life-changing, how I made disconnect with the music. This is the most extreme music you can find. Like, I know metal is supposed to be the extreme music, but like if you listen to like this is La Monte Young as well. This is one tone, continuously played, and it's only over time that you will hear something moving a little bit, shifts, which is the whole concept about this. La Monte Young, he started in the 50s. He's 86 right now, and he was into jazz. He played with Don Cherry, with Eric Dolphy, with Cecil Taylor, I believe, or Ornette Coleman. He studied alongside John Coltrane, and he was actually chosen as a saxophonist before Coltrane in many of the local bands. But he soon, in 1960, he shifted towards what he found, like after studying music and studying lots of, like even with Stockhausen, and this was like what I read was like a small memento presenting his concept of music. And so he first released an album in the early 70s. I believe this is the one, the Black Album, with very intricate motifs. Very shiny cover. This was limited to, yeah, I don't know if you can see here, yeah, there's only one pressing of 2,800 copies, which is a lot, but this record is super rare anyways, because it's like a cult record for art, music, art objects, etc. Both sides, they withhold more, almost like 40 minutes on each side, and the pressing is very good. But that makes the pattern, the groove, so intricate that it becomes a work of art in itself. His second album, La Monte Young, this was released on the German label X Editions, by the way, or Edition X. The second album, it's a double album. No, it's a single album. It's the La Monte Young, Maria Zazila, his wife, with the Theater of Eternal Music. Does it get more extreme than this? Yeah, these records are very hard to come by, but probably more in Europe. And like he incorporated northern classical Indian music and electronic music, and all these concepts derived from Schoenberg, and lots of drugs also, like mastering, LSD, cannabis, peyote, and they had this, like, they still have, I believe, this big house loft in New York where they were doing all these performances with lights and art. And he was part of a band, I think, with Andy Warhol, and he was highly influential for John Cale and Lou Reed. Like, the first Velvet Underground album wouldn't exist in the way it is without La Monte Young. So these are the first 2 albums, and then there's a bunch of bootlegs, which we've been listening to actually. This Drift Study, exactly. This was limited to 50 copies. This is from 1968. There's this one that is pretty cool. Sunday AM Blues B Dorian, the well-tuned piano. Very cool bootleg with, I think, there's somewhere. I put it somewhere else. And then there's this one is beautiful. It's a double LP, seal screen art. Very difficult to see because it's like a fluorescent ink. And yes, this one also is a bootleg. And so I've managed to get all of these records. And there was one record of his that I missed, and it was so damn hard to get. It's a record from 1981, I believe. And one day I thought, like, man, this is ridiculous. I will never find this. I've never seen this record anywhere in any shop. And I found there was an auction on eBay. Like, that was like 20 years ago or so. And I thought, like, okay, this is almost Christmas. Let's make myself a good present, because, like, I've got already everything from his. Or so I thought. And so I put a decent high bid on the record, and I won it. It was a really good price. Still top 5 price I ever paid for a record, but still a very, very good price. Just getting the record was such a story, because I got it from a Canadian seller, and I paid like something like $80 of shipping just to make sure that it will reach my doorstep, and I have to sign for it. Of course, the mailman left it. I lived in Paris back then, and we all live in buildings, and the package was left by the doorstep of the building outside in the street. So I was just lucky to get it. So I was so angry that I made a claim. I said I didn't get it, and the French Postal Service tries so much to make my claim become outdated. Like, you have to reply to this mail within 3 days, and blah 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 blah. In the end, like, they told me, we can't help you. Too bad. And then I got money back from the Canadian Post because they felt so bad. So it became really strange. But anyways, so I finally got it. It's the well-tuned piano. It's a box set, 5 LP set, with beautiful booklet describing the whole concept. It's basically a piano tuned by La Monte Young, and that he plays it. It's a performance, and when I got it, I thought, like, okay, this is gonna be like a trophy. These trophy records. You got this record, like, you're not even sure you're gonna like it, like, but you'll feel good about having it on your shelf. I'm really past that now, but like back then I thought like maybe it will be like that, and I got the record and I spent my evening doing something else, and it's time to go to bed. It's pretty late, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, let's listen to one side of it before I go to sleep. 4 hours later, because each side contained between 28 and 36 minutes of music, I listened in like it was so damn good. I listened to the first 4 sides in one session. It was like suddenly 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought, shit, no, like I want to listen to it all. But then I thought a little bit, and shit, if I listen to it all, I'll have nothing more to listen from Monte Young that I've never heard before, because he's very elusive. He doesn't publish anything, and he's so that's why there are a few bootlegs, because none of his records are in print, and he doesn't release anything new. He just does performances. So I kept these 2 last sides, and eventually a few years later I listened to the 5th side with one of my best friends, Romilo, if you remember that evening in Paris. And to this day I still haven't listened to the 10th side, because if I do, there will be nothing more to listen to this. This is why this is the record I wish I could listen to for the very first time again. And it's such a wonderful record. Of course, since then I discovered a few things, like there's this compilation with the Monte Young track played by Daniele Lombardi. Pretty cool artwork, gatefold. But it's very short track, but it's cool. But there's also the music from his guru that he helped release, Pandit Pranat. This is also released on the same label as the box set. This one, his guru, I mean his music teacher from India, from northern India. This was released on Chandar, like the second album, and then there's this one that is more easy to find in the US, on Douglas. Earth Groove, Pandit Pranat, the voice of Cosmic India, and very, very different from what's his name, the Indian guy that everyone knows, the Beatles guru. There's actually a Beatles connection because Yoko Ono hosted in the 60s many concerts of Monte Young in her loft, and she was a fan, like so much so that it influenced a lot of her performance art. And you could say that Monte Young was a guru. Lots of musicians went through his cult, like Terry Riley, David Rosenbaum, John Hassel, Rhys Chatham, and even like John Cale and others who were part of the Eternal Music Ensemble. So if you go back to how it influenced all this to the starting point, the Spaceman 3 being influenced so much by him as well, that I even in 1988 were referencing him pretty early. That came out on their own Space Age label. Let's see. Pressing is not very good. It's alright. This is a live show, of course. And so yeah, Tuco. That was my record. That the story behind that record. I wish I could listen to for the first time again, and a kind of little primer on Monte Young and his music. Here it's even more evident. A lot of his music was written so that there's lots of room left for the musician or randomness. like you could decide how long you played that part. So Terry Riley was heavily influenced by him by this, and his very first recordings have Monte Young on the organ, and so this was very revolutionary for modern music in the Western world, and still is in many regards. But yeah, Monte Young will probably be traveling to another dimension soon. I don't hope so. I wish I could see him live before that. But I guess that when he will pass to another realm, his music will be spreading much more because he's the one who refuses right now to release more and to have reissues of this for whatever reasons he has, which I could be fine with, except that it's some of the most transforming music that I wish to hear more, and hence the fact that I want to be able to listen to his magnum opus 5 LP set over almost 6 hours of music for the first time again, and why I still keep one last side of this for the perfect time, or not, but at one point I will listen to this and then listen to the whole of it again, maybe with good company, maybe with rum. But that was it. Wax Extatic. This is music for ecstasy, for sure. Music either for drugs or for not needing drugs. It's kind of the same at one point. And well, that's it for today. It was a little short video. Very spontaneous reaction to this thread. And I hope all of you are good, and that Monte Young will sound curious, odd, special enough that you will try to make your own opinion, at least confront yourself to this music. It's music that doesn't suit the modern world that much, because it's really the kind of music that asks time from the listener, from you, which is the best deal I find in music for myself. So there it is. I hope you all have a very nice evening, day, whenever this reaches you, as the eternal music. Music is eternal. Sound waves are eternal, so this is reaching you already. This has already reached you before you even know it. Alright, have a nice day.